information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com. Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Good morning and welcome. This is your host, Bill Wynn. Thanks for joining us for another hour of This Week in Marketing with AMA San Diego. Today we're going to be talking about taking advantage of organic social media in 2018. Before we do that, I would like to make sure I remind everyone of a couple of events we have coming up on the schedule. Next Friday, the 16th of February, we've got visual and performing arts marketing panel discussion and performance of a play called The Cake at the La Jolla Playhouse. Again, that's Friday, February 16th. The event starts at 5:30, panel discussion kicks off at 6:30, and then performance of The Cake is at 8 p.m., so register at sdama.org. And then secondly, we have announced the date for our Art of Marketing Conference in 2018. It is May 11th at the Crown Plaza San Diego Mission Valley. So save the date once again, May 11th, 2018 for Art of Marketing Conference. So joining us this morning are a couple of gentlemen from a full-service marketing agency, digital agency called E2M Solutions. They are Manish Dudregia. Good morning, Manish.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
And then also is Kevin Zvek, who is with E2M Solutions. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Bill.
So guys, tell us a little bit about E2M and about yourselves. Manish, let me start with you.
Sure. First of all, Bill, thank you for having us this morning. So I'm an immigrant and moved to the U.S. a year back. So I've been into digital marketing industry since last 10 years. And 5 years back, I started my agency E2M back in India. And I grew it from 2 to 100 people in last 5 years and just moved here a year back to grow our agency because most of our clients are over here in the U.S. So that's kind of the background, and we are a full-service agency. We provide like SEO, content marketing, social media marketing, and website design and development services.
Okay, and what kind of clients do you work with?
So mainly we work with other agencies and provide them white label services, and also we work with direct customers, and pretty much we don't focus on any particular niche. We pretty much work with different types of businesses, all types of online businesses who actually want their business to promote on the internet.
Okay, and Manish, what is your background? How did you get into digital marketing?
Yeah, so my background is of course, in computer science. I did my master's in computer science, but I was more interested into the marketing. So I got to know about specifically SEO from a friend of mine in 2006, and I found it really, really interesting. And that's how I got into SEO industry first, and then I got into full spectrum digital marketing. So that's how I got into this industry.
Got it. And Kevin, how about yourself? How did you find yourself in the wonderful world of digital and at E2M Solutions?
Well, going back a couple years, I was working the freelance game, and back in November of 2016, I was brought on by Manish and Pratik, the co-founders of E2M. I was brought on 4 months before Manish moved to the States. I was actually the first American they hired, so I spent my 4 months of employment as kind of the lone wolf in San Diego. And I've been doing most of the copywriting services, and as a copywriter, it's really been interesting so far working for a full-service digital agency, because I feel like every single day whenever I write, I feel like I'm playing both the student and then the teacher.
Got it. So, Manish, tell us a little bit about your move to the United States, right, and trying to grow the business. Obviously, the experience must be vastly different doing it within the U.S. versus India.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was kind of a reborn situation. So it was first of all, I mean, I came to the United States for the very first time back in August 2016. I visited here for a month just to see things over here before I planned to move permanently over here. And finally, after I got my visa and everything, I moved back here in February 2017. So First of all, it was a huge cultural shock. So because there is a vast culture difference between both of this country, and in terms of business, I think one of the biggest challenges we have faced is about knowing the process of hiring people over here, because that's completely different how we hire people over there and how the process goes over here. And I still remember the day when I met my employment attorney, and he was telling me the horrible stories of how employees can sue you, and you have to make sure this, you have to make sure this, and everything. And I was like, okay, I'll learn that over the time. But I think that was kind of a biggest challenge, because knowing something and doing something, that's a huge difference between these two. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the main challenge I identified.
Yeah, and it's possible that process could still use some tightening up, because Kevin obviously got through it, right? So there's always room for fine tuning. Yeah. Also in the studio with me this morning is my colleague Sam Wheeler. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. I was waiting for that introduction.
Yeah, sorry, I was a little late.
Yeah.
Did you have a question for these gentlemen?
Yeah, definitely. So, I think it's really interesting how you've said a lot of your clients are based in the States.
Right.
So kind of what inspired you to start building an operation hub here instead of just keeping it all remote?
Yeah. So, like I said, 5 years back we started agency there. We grew our agency from 2 to 100 people by just sitting back in India. We never visited US. And we realized that if we can grow our agency by just being over here, then we can definitely grow further if we will have a local presence in the US. So that was one of the challenges we faced over there. Was there were always limitations working with big agency, big brands while sitting over there, because especially over here, like big agencies, big brands, they would like to work with local companies. And during the local time zone, there's a time zone is a huge difference. So that's where they feel more comfortable working with us. And we also wanted to hire people over here just to, just to provide them the understanding. So let's say when we work with big brands and big agencies, they would definitely like to see the content coming out written from a native American speaker. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have a local hire over here. We wanted to have a local team over here communicate with our clients to avoid any language barrier, to avoid any time zone difference. So and so far it's going great. We have been growing really good after I moved over here. So that was one of the reasons, that to give an ace to our clients who work with us as a local company. So that was one of the reasons I moved here.
And let me ask a follow-up on that. You could have obviously picked any city, right? Mm-hmm. Coming from India. Yeah. Why San Diego?
That's a really good question. So when I visited US for the very first time in August 2016, I visited 11 cities from 15 different states in 27 days. And 2 weeks specifically I spent in San Diego. So, and I thought that this is the best place to live over here. And also a friend of mine and client of us, he was also helping me out with all this move and everything. So that was the reason I chose San Diego, and I'm glad that I selected to be in San Diego.
Yeah, what have you found it to be like since moving here? Anything about it surprise you? Anything different than you expected?
I think since I've been we have been doing business with clients across the United States since last 5 years. So I was a little bit aware about the things over here, culture over here, and some of the things over here, like how things work over here, because I was getting on the calls with our clients on a regular basis and over the emails and everything. So I was keep getting updates, and I was keep knowing what's going on over here. But yeah, once you are physically you are some place, then you definitely see the difference. So yeah, I think there is a huge difference between both of the countries. So, but I will always see the good things. Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. So before we move into the main topic of today, last question I wanted to ask is sort of, do you have any tips for other companies that are looking to expand either in the States or move, basically set up another hub or H2, if you will, HQ2?
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. In my case, I have a business partner, so it was easy for me to take this decision because he can oversee the operations over there and I can take care of operations over here. So the one thing, the tip I can give you is other agencies who would like to expand, businesses to other countries and make the headquarter too, is you should have a really good processes and you should have a really good people in your team, to make sure the operations doesn't get affected and operations go smoother. Because when you move, especially to a different country, there is always a huge time zone difference, and you are always working. You'll be working pretty much remotely with your team, so you should have a proper processes and project management softwares and tools in process to make sure that it makes your life easy.
Definitely, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's perfect timing, actually. Mm-hmm. We'll be back shortly with segment 2. We're going to be talking about social media in 2018, how it's changed, how companies are engaging, and we're going to focus strictly on the organic side. But maybe we'll touch on paid in a little bit.
Yeah, and once again, I want to remind folks about the event coming up here next week, Visual and Performing Arts panel discussion and performance of The Cake at La Jolla Playhouse, Friday, February 16th. 5:30 p.m. We'll be right back with This Week in Marketing on AMA San Diego.
A podcast or radio show on WS Radio is a great way to create content marketing. Turn prospects into customers into raving fans. Contact Wade at WSRadio.com or call 866-WS-Radio.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on VinVillage Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What? Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Sam Wheeler here in the studio. We got Bill Wynn, and Kevin and Manish from the E2M Solutions. We're talking about social media in 2018. Super excited to get on this topic because it's a big one. Everybody loves to talk about social. We're going to start here with Facebook. We talked about it a little bit from the break, and I think the best place to start off is everybody knows what Facebook is. But from a business perspective and from a user preference, there's kind of been an issue, or I guess you could even say a problem that people are seeing that Facebook has kind of made. So maybe you guys can start, Manish, to kind of give us an overview of that issue, that shift in preference, and kind of what was the problem, if any, with Facebook moving into 2018?
Sure. Kevin.
So really what we've seen with Facebook, it's been no secret over the past few years that organic is on the decline. That's been a widely accepted fact across the social media market. So really what we saw about a little less than a month ago, Mark Zuckerberg rolled out his big announcement announcing the big update, which really what he wanted to do is cut back on unhealthy discourse and, of course, the big buzzword that everyone's been talking about for the past couple of years, fake news. So something we really saw, it really came to head in the 2016 election, that the bottom line that they were observing at Facebook was interactions on Facebook were not good. People were not going on Facebook and leaving it happy. They were leaving Facebook angry. It was stressing them out, and that's something that really got away from their roots. And to go back over the evolution of Facebook, where it started 2004, it's been about 14 years now. So when it started, it was really just a way for friends to connect with friends and family to connect with family. And as it progressed, it really, as the years went on, it changed into more, it got away from the friends as more public pages began to infiltrate Facebook. It really just turned into not so much a way to connect people as it was more of a funnel. A funnel is in people don't need to go from website to website to get the content they want on the web. They can just like pages on Facebook and funnel everything they want to see on the internet into one news feed. And so what we were seeing is really the name of the game for businesses was it wasn't so much to promote healthy discourse as it was to get engagement. And a lot of what we were seeing is, especially during the 2016 election, a lot of pages were using the negative emotional triggers to get engagement by any means possible. And this was, writing headlines that played to anger, to sadness, to fear. And that's really what they saw was one of the main sources of this unhealthy discourse. And so what Zuckerberg wanted to do, he wanted to get back to the roots of connecting friends with friends and family with family. So the main reason of this latest update he rolled out was, I'm going to quote, the last paragraph of his update was, at its best, Facebook has always been about personal connections. And they want to make sure that time on Facebook is time well spent. And another thing they wanted to get away from was another buzzword, at least that I've noticed in this announcement, was he wanted to get rid of passively reading and watching, which means that people would read articles or watch videos and not interact with them. And that's something he wanted to do away with. So a big deal of this update is it's going to give less value to the public pages and a lot more value to friends and family in an attempt to make time on Facebook time well spent.
Okay, that's interesting. So the users wanted to see a shift, right, after feeling unhappy with being on Facebook.
Well, that was definitely the assumption from the brass at Facebook. But the question that I have right now, which remains to be seen as this update really takes effect, is, like I said, Facebook has turned into a way to funnel all the content you want to see on the web into one newsfeed. So the thing is, it's no secret. Facebook has not been, the weight of Facebook hasn't been about social reactions for a long time, for years now. Do people really want to go back to that? Is the question I have. Do they want to keep it the way it is, the funnel that gets all the content they want into one newsfeed? So that's one of the most interesting things I'm going to be looking out for just to see how this update plays out and how the users are going to interact with it. But the biggest effect it's going to have is on brands, news outlets, and public pages.
Well, yeah, so that was kind of going to be my follow-up question is so we saw that there's going to be a shift, more local, and people are going to start seeing things that are being engaged with. Now, what does that mean for brands? Specifically, big brands or even the small mom and pop shops that are trying to get people on their page. I mean, now you can even buy stuff off Facebook, right? So what does that mean for them? From an organic perspective, what strategies do they need to work on? Or, what do they do?
Yeah, I think it has literally, changed the way brands will be posting the content on social media, especially Facebook. So it has already created a challenge for brands, news, publishers that how can they make sure that the content gets pushed up all the way top in the at least it can be seen in the newsfeed by the users who have liked their page. Because now, after this update, it's very obvious. I mean, I have been already seeing the updates. I've been already seeing the change in my feed where I'm seeing more content from my friends and families and the groups which I have liked, and I'm seeing less content from the pages which I have liked from brands and news and publishers. So the challenge has been already started. Now, in terms of content, I think the biggest challenge for small businesses will be to create a kind of a real-time content. When I say the real-time content, it could be, the content which exclusively stays on the platform itself. So it could be a live video. It could be, behind the scene content. I mean, what's going on behind in their business behind the scene, and that kind of content. Because earlier, what used to do that, what was going on that businesses used to create a short content and link to the external site. So it's pretty much now they were directing traffic to their website where users can get more information. And what Facebook is promoting, Facebook promotes the post having a content which exclusively stays on the platform itself, because the eventual goal of Facebook is that they want to increase the engagement of users on their platform. And for that, if you notice, then if you want to give it a try, then if you will, just keep the content which exclusively stays on Facebook, and you post another content with a link to an external website, then the content which exclusively stays on Facebook will get more engagement, will appear, the chances will be higher to appear that content in newsfeed than the content which has a link to the external site.
So Facebook doesn't want people leaving their sites at all.
Exactly.
So speaking of this engaging content, what are you talked a little bit about like a live video. Are there any other ways that brands, small businesses, big businesses can use this organic, like what are the different types of content they can make outside of a live video? Because video is really tough to produce.
Yeah.
Live video, maybe not so much anymore. Mm-hmm. But are there other types of posts outside of like informational posts that the brands can use to kind of boost this engagement?
Well, another big part of this update was they wanted to put a lot more emphasis on local content.
Right.
So this will be a big change for the small mom and pop shops. That'll be to publish content that speaks to their community, that engages with, it doesn't go to a colossal realm. They want to keep it small. They want to stay tight-knit, place more emphasis on news in the community.
Yeah, I think Zuckerberg actually gave, I don't know if that was the announcement you're reading on the 29th.
That was a little later.
But he talked about how they're going to show more local news as well.
Yeah.
So do you think that, I think it's very interesting to talk about that because now from an organic perspective, people can have some of these smaller shops have more of a say almost, right? There's more of an opportunity for them to get shown organically. What do they need to accomplish? Like you talked about like emotional triggers, right? Is there any specific advice you'd give for somebody trying to create content in the local space?
Well, I think this opens up a door for a lot of interesting strategies here. I think a big thing that'll help is, local coverage. A company hosts an event in the area, hosts a fundraiser. I think this will be just a really good opportunity to really reward these smaller shops for getting more involved in the local community.
Cool. And so moving back towards like coveraging local, we have local posts, we have live video. Are there any other types of, like let's say somebody writes a blog post, right? Manish, you talked about having the content live exclusively on Facebook. Do you envision people starting to use their Facebook page as a blog more so people have to read the entire blog instead of going to the site? Something like that?
Yeah, one thing I've been seeing, and it seems to be working. I have also tested that if you want to share something and where the content stays on the external side, then you have to write a blurb and put it as a text on the as a post. And what you can do is you can just put that link to that content external site in the comment section. So what happens, that content still stays on the exclusive on the Facebook, and you can write that for more information, click on the link which is in the comment below. So that kind of thing brands and businesses can do. And the other thing than Facebook live videos and local events, one thing I've been noticing is the groups. So I think it would be a really smart decision for businesses to create a group within the interest of their targeted market, and then invite and making that group more engaging, and that will be a good way to engage their audience as well.
So similar to like a meetup event or something like that?
Yeah, it could be anything. For example, let's say we run a digital marketing agency, so we kind of create a group where we invite all of digital marketing agency owners.
Cool. Well, let's pick that up in a second. We'll be right back with This Week in Marketing. Thanks for listening.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. Securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. Securingourecity.org.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of Universal Talk Laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal Talk Laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813. 6813.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
All right, welcome back. This is Sam, your co-host with Bill Wynn. Here in the studio, we're talking with Manish and Kevin of E2M Solutions. And we're talking about Facebook and social media in 2018. Right before the break, we briefly talked about Facebook groups and how businesses should be kind of using this tool that Facebook has. And before we move on, I wanted to ask one quick question: is sort of what is the goal of these groups? Is it to find new customers? Is it to build kind of clout in the industry? What would your kind of suggestions for be a business to start the what's the point of the group?
I think the point of group is, of course, making the sharing community. So where you invite other like-minded people from the same industry and talk about the real problems and get engaged and make the personalized communication. So what I mean that if the group is having like, let's say 5,000 people, then everybody is throwing their ideas, their solutions, problems. And as a brand, you can moderate that group, and you can also, put your brand insights, your expert insights. And why Facebook loves groups and why they will keep loving it more, because what happens in group is something where you keep getting the notifications constant. Because if the group is having a lot of people involved in that group, then one person will post something and other person will reply to something, and the engagement keeps happening. So what happens, and that's what Facebook wants. I mean, Facebook wants maximum engagement on their platform. They don't want users to go out of their platform. And that's the reason why I'm seeing that Facebook is giving more importance to groups.
Yeah, I'll actually give an example, right? So a couple of years ago, my gym started a Facebook group just around the gym, right? Because they noticed that a lot of their updates were not making it into people's news feeds when they were just coming off of the company page, right? So they created this group, which, the primary function was to make sure that their updates got into people's news feeds. But I think an even greater benefit has been kind of an enhancement of the sense of community around the gym, right? And obviously engagement about a lot more than just what's going on at the gym, right? Like if somebody needs help, like moving something, right? Or they have to go out of town on an emergency and they need somebody to, to watch a dog or something like that, people will put that stuff on there and they've got a pretty high chance of getting somebody to respond to it. So it's really been a pretty effective thing. Now, obviously, that's kind of cheating, right? Because a gym is like hyper local and people have a greater sense of affinity for it than they would for like a national brand, for example, right? But it's still, I think, illustrative of how that works.
Yeah, that was a good example. So, yeah, I mean, it's more of a give and take. So it's not something that the eventual goal of the group is to get customers or to get more attention or something. It's more about the giving back to community, and where as a business you also get to know from the community that what kind of problems they are facing, and that gives brands and businesses an opportunity to create a great content. They don't have to. In fact, they keep getting a lot of ideas from the group content itself. Like the more people, if they identify, the more people are posting about something, they are experiencing this problem, then they can take that problem and try to solve in their business and create a content around that. And that's something, it's proven that everyone will like that content. So I think it's a great idea to invest in the Facebook groups.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess that kind of drives us into the problem of the reason why this group was created, Bill, at your gym was because you post something on your page and it doesn't get pushed out to people. So organically, people don't reach it. So why are we seeing that change? So what makes an organic post get into somebody's newsfeed, I guess is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. So like Bill said, a few years back, why did that gym started group? Because a few years back, Facebook has changed algorithm. That's the first time they made that algorithm change where even though I'm liking any brand's page, probably like only 30 to 40% people should be able to see on their newsfeed what brands is posting, even though they have liked their page. So now what's happening that the Facebook has realized, if you have noticed as well, then all the brands and media and publishers were posting content and then linking to the external site. So if brands, news, media, publishers, if anyone wants to still get an engagement, there is a still way. Facebook hasn't denied that they will not be showing all the content from brands at all, newsfeed. It's all about how much valuable content you are posting and how much it will engage to the users on the platform itself. So I would say that if you create a content which exclusively stays on the Facebook itself, that content will have a still higher chances to appear in the newsfeed at the top. So when I say exclusive content, which means it shouldn't have a link to external site. So if you notice, even like how Mark Zuckerberg is posting the updates, rather than what he does, he is posting the entire update, making a long story in the post itself, rather than just writing that this is the algorithm we rolled out and link back to Facebook blog. So that's what I mean. Second thing is about live video. Like live video, it itself stays on the platform itself. So rather than posting a link to the YouTube video, you rather record the video and upload it on Facebook platforms. And third thing is kind of a group. So that's kind of an exclusive content, so pretty much exclusive content which stays on the platform itself will have a higher chances to appear in the newsfeed.
Okay, interesting. So how can small businesses or groups, brands organize their calendars, their social calendars on Facebook, and then we'll talk about the other channels as well.
So I'll keep it very short because this is kind of a myth that content calendar. I mean, every brand is talking about content calendar, but I would say that you shouldn't focus on content calendar. Instead, you focus on creating a great content. So it doesn't matter like you should post once a day or twice a day or thrice a day. It's how much valuable content you are posting. It's all about that. So if you don't have anything to produce today, that's fine. You rather don't produce any content. This is how brands have to see. I mean, when someone likes your page on the Facebook, which means you owe them a really good content. You have a certain responsibility. So you shouldn't post any and everything. So I would rather, focus on providing the valuable content rather than following the calendar where I have to post something on every day. So I would say that content which is kind of a real time, one of the most important thing is to stay updated with the industry. And like Kevin said, I mean, Facebook is more focusing on local events and everything. So if your content effort should be mixed. It should be around your industry. It should be associated with any local happenings or events. And something interesting is going on in your industry or behind the scene, what's going on in your business. So I think that kind of content will definitely appear higher in the newsfeed.
Definitely. That's a really good point. So moving on to talking briefly about, Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. So, these are different platforms. Maybe we could start with Twitter and Instagram. How can companies leverage this? Are those platforms seeing the same problems that Facebook was seeing?
I think yes, because the reason is, Instagram, it's not a problem at all because they don't allow you to put the link to the external site. They just allow you to put in the comment and on the profile itself. So for Instagram, it wasn't a problem, but for Twitter, that's one of the reasons why they increased the limit from 180 to 140 to 280 characters. Because what was happening that with 140 characters, it was not allowing users to post a good amount of content. So users had to put small content and link to the external site. So Twitter was literally, losing the engagement. So they wanted users to post more content on the platform itself, and that's one of the reasons that they increased their limit from 140 to 280 characters. And that's the reason now you are seeing that people are also creating like series of tweets and threads. So I think, and that kind of content, and I think Kevin will give an example of that. So the platform, in every platform, I think in every platform is trying to do the same thing. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, then they want people to create exclusive content for their platform, and they want users to addicted of that platform.
Interesting. Kevin, so you had an example that you wanted to share. It's in the Twitter space?
Yeah. For Twitter, I've seen on the Microsoft, their Twitter page, their highest engagement came from just the local videos. Right? Local is in Twitter exclusive. So yeah, I think the biggest thing for businesses, they're going to have to just focus on keeping their content on Twitter by pictures, just text or video.
Interesting. So is it the same messaging that you have on Facebook, right? Is the goal the same on both of these, Twitter and Facebook, or do you differentiate your messaging on there? What's your advice on that? How you leverage both of these?
Well, something we've seen comparing Twitter to Facebook, Facebook and Instagram there's a little more weight on the B2C sector, whereas Twitter and LinkedIn are more B2B. So as far as content goes for Twitter, I mean, depending on your niche, I'd say keep it local, and if there's a really heavy weight on B2B, keep it towards the top of the funnel, the sales funnel.
And I thought it was interesting what you said, Manish, a minute ago about tweet storms, right, and threads.
Right.
I think that I'm an avid Twitter user, right, and I just psychologically I am attracted a lot more to kind of those threads than I am to individual tweets and stuff like that. So we're at the end of this segment. Let's wind it down here, and then we'll come back for our final segment on This Week in Marketing.
Okay.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple, and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com, on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goli, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Did you know the majority of radio listeners are between the ages of 35 and 54, have a household income of more than $100,000, are classified as executives or professionals, and share the show they listen to? Become part of the Peggy Smedley Show to reach listeners looking for information on connected devices through cost-effective radio commercials or segment sponsorships. Contact us at 630-933-0844 for more information or visit PeggySmedleyShow.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
All right, welcome back to This Week in Marketing. Sam here, and we got Bill Wynn and the E2M Solution crew, Minish, co-founder, and Kevin, senior copywriter. And we're talking about social media in 2018, and we're going to briefly touch on LinkedIn. We haven't really talked about it much. I guess you could do a whole show specifically on LinkedIn. But, I guess the question I want to kick off briefly here is how can a business leverage it to the best of their ability?
Yeah, so I've been seeing an interesting shift in the LinkedIn. So one of the things which is pretty much everyone knows that LinkedIn is a platform designed for B2B. So it's, in a nutshell, it's not good if you are targeting consumers. Then you should go for a Facebook and Instagram. So if your target is business to business, then LinkedIn is the best platform right now to leverage and create your brand. So in terms of LinkedIn gives an ability right now to users to become an authority, to become an influencer on the platform itself. The shift I have been seeing lately that LinkedIn also focusing on the same thing, that if you create a content which exclusively stays on the platform itself, it will get the highest visibility. And brands and individuals have to make sure that whenever they post any content on LinkedIn, they have to set the public view available for the public. So when you post any content on LinkedIn, it has an option just to your connection or available on public. So you have to make sure that it's available on the public so it gets the maximum visibility. So something this is telling based on my experience. So I was trying two different posts. So what I did, I'm a regular contributor on entrepreneur.com. So one of my article got published on entrepreneur.com. And that's about 7 entrepreneurship myths you should leave behind in 2017. So what I did, I just shared that article on LinkedIn, and I didn't get any likes or any visibility. And then other post I did on the LinkedIn, by deleting that post, what I did, I wrote those 7 tips on the platform, on the post itself, and then I wrote that, to read more, click on the link in the comment section. And then I put the entrepreneur link in the comment. And that post got it reached to the 500 people. I got good number of likes. A lot of people visited that. So that's a clear sign that LinkedIn is also promoting the content which stays exclusively on the platform itself. And that's the reason, you have been seeing all these posts where people are, posting about that I got fired and it was the best day and my employer... And people are posting this kind of content. You must be seeing that. So that's kind of a platform where if you create a content which exclusively stays on the platform itself, the chances will be higher that you will get the maximum visibility.
Interesting. So should we have businesses kind of tap somebody to be the influencer of their LinkedIn strategy, something like that, or do you think it's a better idea to have that type of information be shared from a branded page?
Well, what a lot of businesses are doing now, they're taking their founders, their CEOs, their higher-level employees, and really emphasizing to expand their personal brand, where a lot of it is become, they want to add their professional expertise on business advice, tips for getting started, tips for managing the day-to-day, X, Y, and Z. So a lot of it is just providing value, making the business world a better place.
Yeah, so because if it is coming out from the person itself, it will create more trust. So this is something I've been experiencing and I've been doing since last 2 weeks. What I'm doing is I'm recording a video and I'm saying my my really good business experience with the hope that it can help other business owners, to grow their business based on my experience. And I'm getting a really, really good traction on those videos because I'm creating those videos exclusively for the LinkedIn itself. And I like my first video, it got like 1,500 views in 5 days. And I got like 15 new connection requests. A lot of people liked my post. More than 50 people liked my video. So I think it gives an ability for individuals to build a trust as well with customers because they are seeing a face. So what happens, you cannot fake it. When you are creating a video, you are not faking it. You are a real person. You are talking to your audience pretty much live. And it's kind of a psychological reason that if you post a real picture, you must have noticed on any platform, if you post pictures of a real people and videos of a real people, it will get more engagement than having like photos and videos from the like stock photos or like animation videos.
Interesting. Okay, so that kind of brings us to a good point about this content creation, right? And that's the theme that we've been sort of talking about, which I really like, is keeping the content on the individual platform. But once you have that, say, okay, I want to create something that stays on Facebook, stays on Twitter, stays on Instagram, whatever. How do they come up with ideas? What different types of content should they be posting? And what sort of like tips do you have for each platform? I guess maybe we could start with Facebook. What should they post? Video. I like this idea. Video. Is there any other topics or ways to kind of come up with ideas?
Well, starting with Facebook. It's been since live video was rolled out in 2016. That's just been a huge factor for getting a boost in the organic rankings. Like for example, Dunkin' Donuts, they were one of the first brands to really adopt live video, and their first they produced videos time and time again before the live video came out, and their first live video got just far and away way more engagement than any other video they had ever produced. So I think a live video is just going to be something, as time goes on, it's just going to be a must for brands.
And it's cheaper too to produce.
Yeah, exactly. Now we are living in the smartphone era, so you can record the video on your smartphone and just do it directly. You don't need a professional cameras as well. So one thing, like for the Facebook, I think what businesses is doing, especially if I give an example of let's say a small business. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to promote either your products or services on the Facebook as a content. You don't need to post the content around just about your product and services. You can pretty much post content which can engage your users. So let's say if we are an agency and we are right over here in San Diego, then it is not necessary that we just talk about the digital marketing and services. We can even post about a local event happening in the marketing or about this radio show on our Facebook page to, just to give them more than just product and services. So to give an example, like businesses can always post the content, something happening behind the scene. So let's say if it's like you have a customer, you take a live video testimonial of your customer and post it on the Facebook. You visited your clients, you had a client meeting, you take pictures of that, you post those kind of pictures. You exactly what happens behind the scene when you create your, if you let's say if we are providing a copywriting services, then the thoughts behind our services, if we are into product business, let's say it's an e-commerce business, then how does this packaging go? What's the process goes in the manufacturing process? So these kind of behind the scene content, that something is missing from the brands right now. So because they want direct engagement. They want people to take an action to buy their product or services. So I think that kind of content should be created for Facebook. For Instagram, I will give one tip that make use of hashtags. Every post you do on the Instagram, it should have 30 hashtags. Without hashtags, your content won't be visible. And same thing goes for LinkedIn LinkedIn and Twitter, that you create a content which stays exclusively on the Facebook and in the platform itself, so it gets the maximum visibility.
Awesome.
Yeah, going off of that, when it comes to Instagram, I run a travel blog, and which I post pictures out to an Instagram account, and I found I get by far the most engagement if I use between 20 and 30 hashtags.
Okay, great. So let's wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you next time on This Week in Marketing with AMA San Diego.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Looking to be a successful entrepreneur? The virtual assistant industry continues to be a top choice for those looking to start their own business. The problem can be how to become a virtual assistant. Many turn to the Bible of the VA industry, the book Virtual Assistant, the series, and it's the perfect guide for office managers, executive assistants, and other administrative professionals looking to make the transition from employee to successful business owner. Go to vatheseries.com to get your copy today.
Hi, Scale listener. This is David Finkel, co-host with Jeff Hoffman of Scale Your Business. I wanted to let you know that our newest book, Scale, was just released, and to encourage you to get your copy. The book will give you 7 proven principles to grow your business and get your life back. Scale will help you work less by getting your business to produce more. Get your copy online or at your local bookseller. For more information, visit us online at scaleyourbusinesstoolkit.com.